It's 2 in the morning. You're staring at the ceiling. Again. Your mind won't shut off. It's replaying that meeting where your idea got ignored, the promotion that went to someone less qualified, the daily grind where you give everything and somehow still feel invisible. You're working harder than ever, staying late, saying yes to every project. But the recognition, the respect, the career breakthrough you've been chasing, they're not coming. And here's the question that keeps you awake. What am I doing wrong? If you've ever felt that knot in your stomach, that burning frustration of being stuck while others seem to glide forward, this video is for you. Because the answer isn't about working harder. It's not about luck, and it's definitely not about who you know. The answer is in a book called Secrets to Success at Work by Nigel Cumberland, a career coach who's helped thousands of professionals break through the exact ceiling you're hitting right now. Today, we're diving into the 6 game-changing habits from this book that separate people who stay stuck from people who rise. These aren't vague theories, they're practical, proven strategies you can start using today, whether you're a teacher in Ohio, a nurse in Florida, or a freelancer working from your kitchen table in Seattle. Stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to finally get noticed, valued, and promoted. Let's get into it. Direct answer: what this book really teaches. So, what is Secrets to Success at Work really about? Nigel Cumberland's book reveals that career success isn't about talent or luck. It's about mastering 6 core habits that high performers use daily. These include developing deep self-awareness to understand your strengths and blind spots, building authentic confidence that makes you magnetic in any room, networking strategically to create real opportunities, delivering work that gets noticed, not just done, communicating with clarity and impact, and protecting your energy to avoid burnout. Cumberland argues that most people fail at work not because they lack skills, but because they lack these foundational behaviors. This book is your step-by-step guide to becoming the person who gets picked, promoted, and respected by changing how you show up every single day. That's the core promise. Now let's break down exactly how to do it. Habit 1. Master self-awareness. Chapter 1. The mirror you've been avoiding. Let me tell you about Marcus. Marcus is a project manager in Denver. 32 years old, good at his job, maybe even great. But here's the problem. Marcus has no idea why people don't trust him. Every project he leads somehow ends in tension. Teammates ghost his emails. His boss gives him feedback that feels more like a warning. And Marcus? He blames everyone else. The team's lazy. His boss plays favorites. The company culture is toxic. Then one day his mentor sits him down and asks one simple question. Do you know what people actually think when you walk into a room? Marcus had no answer. That's when he discovered the first secret from Cumberland's book. You can't succeed at work if you don't know yourself. Self-awareness is your career foundation. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of us are walking around with massive blind spots. We think we're great listeners. We're not. We think we're team players. We're not. We believe we're open to feedback. We're not. Self-awareness is the ability to see yourself clearly, your strengths, your weaknesses, your triggers, and how you actually impact the people around you. And according to Cumberland, it's the single most important skill for career success. Why? Because you can't fix what you can't see. You can't grow if you don't know where you're starting from. And you definitely can't lead others if you don't understand yourself. Think about it. Have you ever worked with someone who had zero self-awareness? The coworker who talks over everyone in meetings but swears they're a collaborator? The manager who micromanages but calls it being thorough? These people don't get promoted. They get tolerated or fired. Self-awareness separates amateurs from professionals. And the brutal reality is, most people avoid it because it's painful. Looking in the mirror, really looking, means confronting the parts of yourself you've been hiding from. The application: how to build self-awareness this week. Here's what Marcus did, and here's what you can do starting today. Action 1. Ask 3 people for brutal honesty. Not surface-level feedback, real feedback. Go to someone you trust at work, a coworker, a mentor, a manager, and say this: I'm trying to grow. Can you tell me one thing I do well and one thing I need to improve? Be honest. I won't get defensive. Then, shut up and listen. Don't defend, don't explain. Just absorb it. Do this with 3 different people. You'll start seeing patterns. Maybe you interrupt people. Maybe your emails sound cold. Maybe you avoid conflict. Whatever it is, you need to know. Action 2. Journal for 10 minutes every Sunday. Get a notebook. Every Sunday evening, write down 3 questions. What went well at work this week? What didn't go well? And what role did I play in both? That last question is key. It forces you to take ownership instead of blaming circumstances. Marcus started doing this, and within a month, he realized something shocking. His lazy team wasn't lazy. They were avoiding him because he shot down their ideas before hearing them out. He wasn't a bad manager. He was an insecure one, and his team could feel it. Self-awareness gave Marcus a mirror, and once he could see himself clearly, he could finally change. The takeaway: you can't climb a ladder you can't see. Self-awareness shows you where you are, so you can plan where you're going. Blind spots destroy careers. The things you don't know about yourself are the things holding you back. Feedback is a gift, even when it stings. The people brave enough to tell you the truth are doing you a favor. Your move. Here's my question for you. When's the last time you asked someone for real feedback? Not a compliment, but the hard truth. Drop a comment below. Let me know what scares you most about self-awareness, because facing that fear, that's where your breakthrough starts. Build authentic confidence. Chapter 2. The woman who stopped apologizing. Her name was Jennifer. She worked as a software developer in Austin. Talented, detail-oriented, the kind of person who could solve problems no one else could touch. But every time Jennifer spoke in a meeting, she started with an apology. Sorry, this might be a dumb question, but I'm probably wrong, but what if we tried this? Sorry to interrupt, I just thought maybe. Her ideas were brilliant, but nobody heard them, because confidence isn't about being loud, it's about believing you deserve to be heard. And Jennifer? She didn't believe it. Then she read Cumberland's chapter on confidence, and everything changed. Confidence is a skill, not a personality trait. Let's kill a myth right now. You're not born confident. Confidence isn't something you either have or don't have. It's something you build, brick by brick, choice by choice. Cumberland breaks it down like this. Confidence is the gap between how you see yourself and how you show up in the world. When that gap is small, you're confident. When it's massive, you're paralyzed. Most people think confidence means being fearless. Wrong. Confidence means acting even when you're terrified. It means speaking up even when your voice shakes. It means owning your value even when no one else does yet. Here's why this matters at work. People follow confidence. They promote confidence. They pay confidence. Not arrogance, confidence. There's a difference. Arrogance says, I'm better than you. Confidence says, I bring value and I know it. Jennifer thought she needed permission to be confident. She didn't. She just needed to stop shrinking herself. The application: how to build confidence in 30 days. Jennifer used 2 strategies from Cumberland's book. You can use them too. Action 1. Stop apologizing for existing. For the next week, track how many times you say sorry when you didn't actually do anything wrong.
Jennifer committed to 1 week of no unnecessary apologies. By day 3, she felt different. By day 7, people started treating her differently. Same person, same ideas, but the energy shifted. Action 2. Do 1 scary thing every day for 30 days. Confidence grows through action, not affirmations. You don't think your way into confidence. You act your way into it. So for 30 days, do 1 thing that scares you professionally. Speak up in a meeting when you'd normally stay quiet. Email a senior leader with an idea. Volunteer for a project outside your comfort zone. Record a LinkedIn video sharing your expertise. Have the tough conversation you've been avoiding. Start small, but start. Because every time you do something scary and survive, your brain rewires. It learns, oh, I can do hard things. Jennifer started speaking up in meetings without apologizing. She pitched an idea to her VP. She even negotiated a raise, something she never thought she'd have the guts to do. 30 days later, she wasn't a different person. She was just finally being herself out loud. The takeaway: fire. Confidence is built in the moments you choose courage over comfort. Every time you speak up, you get stronger. Stop waiting for permission to take up space. You belong in the room. Act like it. Apologizing for your existence makes you invisible. Own your voice. Own your value. Your move. So here's my challenge. What's 1 scary thing you can do at work this week? Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting. Maybe it's asking for feedback on your performance. Maybe it's finally applying for that role you think you're not ready for. Comment below and tell me, because when you declare it publicly, you're way more likely to actually do it. Let's hold each other accountable. Habit 3. Network like your career depends on it. Chapter 3. The Introvert Who Cracked the Code. Let me introduce you to David. David was a high school history teacher in Charlotte, North Carolina. He loved his job, loved his students, but he had a problem. He was stuck. He'd been teaching for 8 years at the same school, same salary, same role. He wanted to move into administration, become a vice principal, maybe even a principal one day. But every time a position opened up, someone else got it. Why? Because David didn't network. He wasn't outgoing. He didn't schmooze at happy hours. He didn't play golf with the district leaders. And he told himself a story. If I just do good work, someone will notice. Nobody did. Then Cumberland's book changed his entire approach. And within 18 months, David landed his dream role. Your network is your net worth. Here's the hard truth. Talent matters. Hard work matters. But relationships matter more. Cumberland says it plainly. Most opportunities don't come from job boards. They come from people. That promotion, the hiring manager already has someone in mind, someone they know and trust. That dream job, it gets filled before it's even posted through a referral. That career pivot, it happens because someone vouches for you. This isn't about being fake or manipulative. It's about understanding a simple reality. People hire, promote, and recommend people they have relationships with. But here's where most people go wrong. They think networking means going to awkward events, collecting business cards, and pretending to care about strangers. That's not networking. That's torture. Real networking is about building genuine relationships before you need something. It's about adding value, staying in touch, showing up as a real human being, not a transactional robot. David realized he'd been invisible not because he wasn't good enough, but because the decision makers didn't know him. And you can't promote someone you don't know exists. The application: how to network without feeling gross. Here's what David did, and here's what you can start today, even if you're an introvert. Action 1. The 5-5-5 rule. Every week, reach out to 5 people. Not for anything, just to connect. 2 people you already know, send a quick text or email. Hey, saw this article and thought of you. How's your project going? Congrats on your win last week. 2 people you want to know better. Coworkers, industry peers, leaders you admire. Ask them for a 15-minute virtual coffee. Keep it low pressure. I'd love to hear about your career path. Would you have 15 minutes sometime? 1 person from your past. An old mentor, a former coworker, a college friend. Rekindle that connection. That's 5 conversations a week, 20 a month. In 6 months, you've deepened 120 relationships. That's not networking. That's relationship building, and it changes everything. Action 2. Give before you ask. This is the secret sauce. Most people only reach out when they need something. A referral, a favor, a job lead, and it feels gross for both people. Flip it. Reach out to offer value first. See someone's post on LinkedIn? Comment with the genuine insight. Know someone looking for a candidate? Make an introduction. Hear about a resource that could help a colleague? Send it their way. David started doing this. He sent articles to principals he admired. He introduced teachers to resources. He showed up as someone who added value, not someone who took. And when a VP position opened up 18 months later, guess who got a text from a district leader saying, "You should apply. I'll put in a good word." Your network doesn't just open doors, it walks you through them. The takeaway: fire. Opportunities don't find you. People do. Build relationships now before you need them. Networking isn't about collecting contacts. It's about creating trust. Quality beats quantity every time. You can't expect people to vouch for you if they don't know you exist. Visibility is a career strategy. Your move. Here's your challenge. Name 3 people you're going to reach out to this week. Not to ask for anything, just to connect. Rebuild a bridge. Start a conversation. Drop their initials in the comments. Hold yourself accountable, because your next opportunity is probably 1 conversation away. Habit 4. Deliver visible value. Chapter 4. The employee who worked in the shadows. Meet Sarah. Sarah was a marketing coordinator in Portland. She worked her tail off. Late nights, weekends. She was the person who fixed everyone's mistakes, picked up the slack, and made sure campaigns launched on time. And yet, when promotion season came around, she got passed over. Again. Her manager promoted Kyle instead. Kyle, who left at 5 every day, Kyle, who didn't work nearly as hard as Sarah, and Kyle, who somehow always seemed to get credit for the team's wins. Sarah was furious. I do all the work. Why does he get the promotion? Then she read Cumberland's book, and she realized something painful. She was working hard in the shadows. Kyle was working smart in the spotlight. Invisible work doesn't get rewarded. Here's the brutal reality. It doesn't matter how hard you work if no one sees it. You can stay late every night. You can be the most reliable person on the team. You can be the glue that holds everything together. But if your contributions are invisible, you won't get promoted.
Cumberland calls this the visibility gap. It's the gap between what you do and what people know you do. And most people don't even realize it exists. Think about Kyle. Was he better than Sarah? No, but he knew how to make his work visible. He updated leadership on his progress. He spoke up in meetings about his projects. He made sure people associated wins with his name. Sarah, meanwhile, believed in the myth of meritocracy. If I just work hard, someone will notice. They won't, because your manager is juggling 50 priorities. They don't have time to hunt for your hidden contributions. If you don't highlight your value, it doesn't exist. This isn't about bragging. It's about owning your narrative. It's about making sure the right people know the right things about your work. The application: how to make your work visible without being annoying. Sarah learned 2 key strategies from Cumberland. Here's how you can apply them. Action 1. The Friday Win email. Every Friday afternoon, send your manager a quick email. Subject line: Weekly Update. Keep it to 5 bullet points. 1 thing you accomplished this week. 1 challenge you overcame. 1 thing you're working on next week. 1 win for the team. Highlight someone else. 1 question or ask if you have one. That's it! 3 minutes to write. But over a year, that's 52 touch points showing your manager exactly what you're delivering. Sarah started doing this. Within 3 months, her manager said, "I had no idea you were doing all of this." That's the visibility gap closing. Action 2. Speak up in meetings strategically. You don't have to dominate every conversation, but you do need to contribute. Before every meeting, prepare 1 insight, 1 question, or 1 update to share. When the moment's right, jump in. I worked on the client report this week, and here's what we found. I noticed a pattern in the data that might help us here. Building on what Jamie said, we could also try. It's not about stealing the spotlight. It's about making sure your voice is heard. Because silent contributors get forgotten. Sarah stopped waiting to be asked. She started volunteering insights. And suddenly, leadership started seeing her as someone with ideas, not just someone who executed tasks. Within a year, she got her promotion. Same work, different visibility. The takeaway: hard work in silence is career suicide. If you don't control your narrative, someone else will, or no one will. Visibility isn't bragging, it's strategy. You're not showing off, you're showing up. The people who get promoted aren't always the best. They're the most visible. Be both. Your move. Here's your action step. Start the Friday win email this week. Just 5 bullets. Send it to your manager. See what happens. Then come back and tell me how they responded. Comment, "I'm in," if you're committing to this. Let's make your work impossible to ignore. Habit 5. Communicate with impact. Chapter 5. The meeting that changed everything. His name was Tom. Tom was a senior engineer at a tech company in San Francisco. Brilliant guy, could solve problems that made other engineers' heads spin. But there was one massive issue. No one understood a word he said. Tom would walk into meetings and start talking in jargon, technical terms, complex explanations, and everyone in the room, especially the non-technical stakeholders, would zone out. His ideas were gold, but they landed like lead. One day his CEO pulled him aside after a presentation and said, "Tom, I believe you have something important to say, but I have no idea what it is. And if I don't get it, we can't move forward." Tom was devastated. He thought his expertise would speak for itself. He didn't realize that communication is the bridge between brilliant ideas and real impact. Then he applied Cumberland's communication principles, and his career exploded. Clarity beats cleverness. Cumberland says it like this: if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. And if people don't understand you, your expertise is worthless. Harsh, but true. Here's the problem. Most professionals overcomplicate things. They think using big words makes them sound smart. They think complex explanations prove their value. They hide behind jargon because it feels safe. But here's reality. The best communicators make the complex simple. They strip away the noise. They focus on the core message. They speak in a way that anyone, your CEO, your grandmother, a teenager, could understand. And that skill? It's a career multiplier. Think about the leaders you admire. They don't confuse you. They clarify. They distill complexity into one clear sentence. And that's why people follow them. Tom realized he'd been gatekeeping his knowledge behind complexity. He wasn't communicating, he was performing, and it was costing him influence. Then he applied Cumberland's communication principles, and his career exploded. The application: how to communicate so people actually listen. Here's what Tom did, and here's what you can steal. Action 1. The one-sentence rule. Before any meeting, presentation, or important email, ask yourself, if I could only say one sentence, what would it be? That's your core message. Everything else is just support. For Tom, his one-sentence message became, "This system will cut our processing time in half without adding cost." That's it. No jargon, no fluff, just a clear promise. Then he built everything else around that sentence. When he started with clarity, people leaned in. When he got technical, people checked out. Try this. Before your next meeting, write down your one-sentence message. Start with that, then expand. You'll instantly sound more confident and clear. Action 2. Use the explain it to a 12-year-old test. After you write an email or plan a presentation, read it back and ask yourself, could a 12-year-old understand this? If not, simplify. Cut the jargon. Replace utilize with use. Replace leverage synergies with work together. Replace circle back with follow-up. This isn't dumbing it down. It's respecting your audience's time. Tom started doing this. He'd draft a technical email, then rewrite it as if he were explaining it to his nephew. The second version was always better. Clearer, faster to read, more persuasive. Within 6 months, Tom went from being the smart guy no one understands to the guy who always makes things make sense. That shift changed everything. The takeaway. Your expertise means nothing if people don't understand you. Communication is the delivery system for your value. Clarity is power. The person who explains things simplest wins the room. Jargon isn't impressive, it's lazy. If you can't say it simply, you don't really know it. Your move. Here's your challenge. Take your last email to your boss or team and rewrite it using the 12-year-old test. Cut every unnecessary word. Remove every complex phrase. Make it so simple it feels almost too simple. Then hit send. Watch how people respond. I bet you get faster replies, clearer action, and more respect. Try it, then come back and tell me how it happened. Habit 6. Protect your energy. Chapter 6. The burnout no one saw coming. Her name was Rachel. Rachel was a high school guidance counselor in Phoenix. She cared deeply, maybe too deeply. She said yes to every student, every parent meeting, every extra committee, every favor a colleague asked. She worked through lunch, skipped breaks, answered emails at 10 at night. She told herself, this is what good people do. You show up, you push through, you sacrifice. And then one Tuesday morning, Rachel couldn't get out of bed. Not because she was tired, because her body had shut down. Her mind had shut down.
She'd burned through every reserve of energy she had. Burnout didn't announce itself. It just arrived, and it almost ended her career. That's when she discovered Cumberland's most important lesson. You can't succeed at work if you destroy yourself in the process. Boundaries aren't selfish, they're survival. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Your job will take everything you give it, and then it will ask for more. Your manager will always have another project. Your colleagues will always need another favor. Your inbox will never be empty. And if you don't protect your energy, you will burn out. Not maybe, you will. Cumberland is clear. Success without sustainability isn't success. It's self-destruction. The top performers, the people who have long, thriving careers, aren't the ones who work the hardest. They're the ones who work the smartest. They set boundaries. They say no. They recharge. Because here's reality. A burned-out employee helps no one. Not their team, not their company, not their family, not themselves. Rachel believed the myth that self-care was selfish, that rest was weakness, that saying no made you a bad person. She was wrong, and it almost cost her everything. The application: how to protect your energy without guilt. Rachel learned 2 game-changing strategies. You need them too. Action 1. Create non-negotiables. These are the boundaries you will not cross, no matter what. Rachel's non-negotiables became no work emails after 7 p.m., no skipping lunch ever, 1 full day off per week where she doesn't think about work. When someone asked her to break a boundary, she had a script ready. I can't do that today, but I can help you tomorrow. Or simply, that doesn't work for me, but here's what I can do. At first, she felt guilty. Then she realized something powerful. People respect boundaries. When you enforce them consistently, people stop testing them. What are your non-negotiables? Write down 3, then defend them like your career depends on it, because it does. Action 2. Schedule recovery like it's a meeting. You wouldn't skip a meeting with your CEO, right?
So why do you skip recovery? Rachel started blocking time on her calendar for rest, a 30-minute walk every afternoon, a workout 3 mornings a week, Sunday mornings completely offline. And here's the kicker. She labeled them as meetings on her work calendar so no one could book over them. Meeting with R. R stood for Rachel. She was meeting herself. Because recovery isn't a luxury, it's a requirement. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't lead when you're running on fumes. You can't think clearly when you're exhausted. Within 3 months, Rachel felt like herself again. Her energy came back, her clarity came back, and ironically, her performance improved because a rested Rachel was more effective than a burned-out Rachel ever was. The takeaway. Burnout is not a badge of honor. It's a failure of boundaries. Protect your energy like your career depends on it. Saying no to the wrong things gives you space to say yes to the right things. Boundaries create capacity. You can't sustain success if you destroy yourself building it. Rest is strategy, not weakness. Your move. Here's your final challenge. Write down 3 non-negotiable boundaries starting this week. Maybe it's no work on Sundays. Maybe it's a 20-minute walk at lunch. Maybe it's no emails after 8 p.m. Whatever it is, commit. Then comment below with one boundary you're setting. Let's normalize protecting our energy, because the world needs you at your best, not burned out, bitter, and broken. FAQ, your biggest career questions answered. Let's tackle the questions I get all the time, the real struggles you're facing. FAQ 1, how do I stay consistent when I'm overwhelmed? Great question, because consistency is where most people fail. You start strong, life gets busy, and 3 weeks later, you've abandoned everything. Here's the truth. Consistency isn't about motivation. It's about systems. Cumberland teaches that small, daily actions beat massive, sporadic effort every single time. You don't need to overhaul your life. You need to build tiny habits that stick. Here's how. Pick one habit from this video. Not all 6, just one. Maybe it's the Friday win email. Maybe it's reaching out to one person per week. Maybe it's one non-negotiable boundary. Now, attach it to something you already do. That's called habit stacking. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I'll spend 5 minutes journaling about yesterday. Or before I shut my laptop each day, I'll update my win list. The key is making it so small you can't fail. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for consistency, because 5 minutes a day for a year beats a weekend binge that you abandon by Tuesday. When you're overwhelmed, you don't need more. You need less, but done consistently. Start with one habit, master it for 30 days, then add the next one. That's how you build a career that lasts. FAQ 2, what if I'm naturally introverted? Can I still network effectively? Absolutely. In fact, introverts often make better networkers than extroverts. They just do it differently. Extroverts work the room. They thrive at big events. They collect dozens of surface-level connections. That's not a bad thing, it's just one approach. But introverts, they build deep, meaningful relationships, and depth beats breadth every time when it comes to career opportunities. Here's what introverts should focus on. One-on-one conversations. Not cocktail parties, not conferences. Virtual coffees. A lunch with one colleague. A thoughtful email to someone you admire. Quality over quantity. You don't need 500 LinkedIn connections. You need 10 people who genuinely know you, trust you, and would vouch for you in a heartbeat. Cumberland emphasizes that networking isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's about being genuine, adding value, and staying in touch. Introverts excel at all 3. So if you're introverted, stop forcing yourself to be someone you're not. Lean into your strengths. Schedule one meaningful conversation per week. Send thoughtful follow-ups. Build relationships slowly and intentionally. That's not just networking, that's relationship mastery. And here's a secret. Most decision makers are exhausted by shallow networking too. When you show up with depth, authenticity, and real interest, you stand out in the best possible way.
FAQ 3. How do I deal with a toxic work environment while still advancing my career? This is tough, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If your workplace is truly toxic, discriminatory, abusive, unsafe, your first priority is getting out. No career move is worth your mental health. But if we're talking about typical workplace dysfunction, difficult coworkers, a frustrating boss, office politics, here's Cumberland's approach. Control what you can control. You can't change your boss. You can't fix a broken culture. But you can control your boundaries, your energy, and your narrative. First, protect yourself. Use the non-negotiables from Habit 6. Don't let a toxic environment bleed into your evenings, weekends, and mental health. Leave work at work whenever possible. Second, document your wins. In toxic environments, your contributions can get buried or stolen. Keep a running list of your accomplishments. Send those Friday win emails. Create a paper trail so when promotion time comes or when you're ready to leave, you have proof of your value. Third, build your exit strategy. Use your current role as a training ground. Network externally. Build skills. Strengthen your resume. A toxic job is temporary if you're strategic about your next move. And finally, remember this. You don't owe loyalty to a company that doesn't value you. Stay long enough to gain what you need, experience, connections, align on your resume, then move towards something better. Your career is a marathon, not a sprint. One toxic stop doesn't define your journey. FAQ 4. I've been applying Cumberland's strategies, but I'm not seeing results yet. How long does this take? I love this question because it's honest. You're doing the work and you're wondering when the payoff comes. Here's the reality. Career transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens in layers. Some changes you'll feel immediately. The first time you speak up in a meeting without apologizing, you'll feel different that same day. The first time you set a boundary and someone respects it, instant shift. But other changes, the promotion, the dream job, the recognition, those take time. Cumberland says to think in quarters, not days. Give yourself 90 days of consistent effort before you evaluate results. Why? Because credibility compounds. The first Friday win email might feel like shouting into the void, but by week 12, your manager sees a pattern. By month 6, you're known as someone who delivers. By year 1, you're the obvious choice for the next opportunity. It's like working out. You don't see muscle after one trip to the gym, but 3 months of consistency, your body transforms. Your career works the same way. So if you've been applying these strategies for 2 weeks and haven't gotten promoted yet, keep going. Track your progress. Celebrate small wins. Notice how people respond to you differently. Trust the process. And if you've been doing this for a full year with 0 movement, then it's time for a hard conversation with yourself. Are you in the right role, the right company?
Sometimes the problem isn't you, it's the environment. And that's valuable information too. Conclusion. Your next move starts now. Let's bring this home. You started this video at 2 in the morning, metaphorically at least, staring at the ceiling, wondering why you're stuck while others move forward, questioning what you're doing wrong. Now you know. It's not about working harder. It's not about luck. It's not about who you know, at least not entirely. It's about 6 core habits that transform how you show up at work. Habit 1, master self-awareness. You can't fix what you can't see. Ask for brutal feedback. Look in the mirror. Understand your blind spots before they destroy your career. Habit 2, build authentic confidence. Stop apologizing for existing. Do one scary thing every day. Confidence isn't a personality trait, it's a skill you build through action. Habit 3, network like your career depends on it, because it does. Build relationships before you need them. Give value first. Make yourself visible to the right people. Habit 4, deliver visible value. Hard work and silence is career suicide. Send that Friday win email. Speak up in meetings. Make sure the right people know what you're doing. Habit 5, communicate with impact. Clarity beats cleverness. Use the one-sentence rule. Explain things so simply that anyone can understand. Your expertise is worthless if no one gets it. Habit 6, protect your energy. Burnout isn't a badge of honor. Set non-negotiables. Schedule recovery. You can't sustain success if you destroy yourself building it. These aren't abstract theories. They're practical, proven strategies from Nigel Cumberland's Secrets to Success at Work. And now they can change yours. But here's the thing. Information without action is just entertainment. You can watch this video, nod along, feel inspired for 10 minutes, and then go right back to the same patterns that keep you stuck. Or you can choose differently. You can pick one habit, just one, and commit to it this week. Maybe it's asking 3 people for feedback. Maybe it's sending that Friday win email. Maybe it's setting one boundary you've been too scared to enforce. Start small, but start. Because here's what I know. A year from now, you'll wish you had started today. You'll look back and realize that this moment, right here, right now, was the turning point. The moment you stopped waiting for permission and started taking ownership. The moment you stopped being invisible and started showing up fully. The moment you stopped settling and started climbing. Your career isn't happening to you, it's waiting for you. But you have to show up. You have to do the work. You have to bet on yourself when no one else will. Marcus did it, Jennifer did it, David, Sarah, Tom, Rachel, they all did it. They weren't special, they weren't lucky. They just applied these 6 habits consistently until their careers transformed. You can do the same. So here's my final challenge. Close this video, pick one habit, do it today. Not tomorrow, today. And then come back and tell me about it. Drop a comment below. Tell me which habit you're starting with. Tell me what scares you. Tell me what you're committing to. Because when you declare it publicly, you're 10 times more likely to follow through. And I want to see you win. If this video gave you clarity, hit that like button. If you want more career strategies that actually work, subscribe to Ladder Up English and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And if you know someone who's stuck right now, someone staring at the ceiling at 2 in the morning, wondering what they're doing wrong, share this video with them. Because sometimes the right message at the right time changes everything. Your career breakthrough isn't years away. It's one decision away, one habit away, one choice away. So what's it gonna be? Are you going to stay stuck, or are you going to climb? The ladder is right in front of you. Now grab it.